Hi, and welcome to this yin practice called the Antidote. And I've called it that because this is a really great practice to sink into after living life. It's the antidote to living life, to the busyness of being in the world. They are three of my favorite postures to practice in yin yoga, specifically to both turn inwards and also to open back up again, because as we know, so much of our life is spent curling inwards, and that combined with our body's reflex to literally curl up in stressful, busy or anxious times means that we are more likely to stay in that shape, quite hunched, rounded over. Maybe we spend a bit of time on our phones. And so this practice is to open up, but also to drop in and melt away from the world. So I recommend at least one block, maybe two, and a blanket. A bolster will also be super helpful for this practice too. We're going to start in one of my favorite postures, which is a reclined heart opener. This is where either one block will come in handy, and you can also place a blanket over it for a little bit of padding, or if you have a bolster, you can grab your bolster to lay it under your spine. I'm going to put that at the end of my mat, and we're going to add a block underneath the top of the bolster. For me, this bolster is quite round and thick, so I'm actually going to sit on my blanket to lessen the lumbar curve of my spine. And then you simply lay yourself back, open your arms out wide. And we're going to be here for about 5 to 6 minutes. So the arms opening out, you'll hopefully be feeling some sensations, maybe in the front of the shoulders, maybe down the inner seam of the biceps and the forearms. Let your eyelids become heavy. In this practice, you'll take your time to melt. It might be that you feel the neck or the head or the jaw is trying to grip in some way. Feel free to give it a little wriggle and then bring it towards stillness. Let a sense of slowness sink in. Slow, steady breaths. Soft face. Your body breathing. This antidote to the busyness of the world, and you know, if you have had a really busy day and you're coming to this practice, these first few slow breaths, slow moments, its first shape, is where we start to shed the layers of the outer world, so that when we eventually get to our third and final posture, we can really drape deep into the inner world. And the inner world of space and peace and bliss. And our outer layers are taken off, just like you take off the jacket at the end of the day, your bag, and you place it to the side. Let us do the same throughout this practice. Each breath is that physical release, that letting go of what you actually don't need in this moment. And you might observe the sensations in the arms, the chest, or even the rib cage and the belly shifting and changing. Slow your breath in into those sensations. It rolls. And you're past halfway. Unclench your teeth. Have the courage to be soft. This antidote to all of our doing, our action, our living is simply being. It's resting, it's slowing, it's spacious. It's giving ourselves the time to rest. Take one last breath here. And then to move from the shape, you want to use as little effort as possible. So you can slide your hands by your side. You're going to come into your back, into a rebound. Just a moment to pause, to release. Slide your props to the side of your mat. Lay yourself down. Let your body completely release and soften. Allow everything to melt as the sensations rise and shift and fall. Notice where energy is moving, where blood is moving, where your chi is moving. And know that those are the places that perhaps need it the most. For in this practice, we simply trust that our body tells us what we need to know, our mind tells us what we need to know. Our energy, that shifting when we are in or released from the shape, tells us what's needed, where it's needed. Take one more moment here, and then we're going to set up for our second shape. Now this one is called pontoon pose. And again, what we're really trying to do, like that first one where we're opening across the shoulders, is we're going to try to open across the front line of the body. So those muscles like the hip flexors, into the abdominals, the fronts of the thighs. We want to create space. Pontoon pose is often best done with a bolster or a blanket underneath the glutes or the hips. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide it underneath the hips, and it's going to be a little lower than where the actual flat part of your pelvis is. Now you can have a play around with the placement of the bolster. We ideally don't want to feel any pain in the sacrum, in the lower spine or the lower back. Often taking the bolster a little lower helps. Now if you don't have a bolster, you can use a block. And sometimes the feeling or the opening that you get in holding this shape isn't actually that strong. So I want you to mostly feel a sense of space through the front of the hips and the thighs and the belly without any pinching in the back body. And once you've found that place, you'll close your eyes, your arms can rest wherever it's most comfortable for you. Maybe you have that little wriggle again where you find some softness through the neck and the shoulders, your face, your hands, your feet. And that moment of settling into the shape, into the sensations. Slow your breath. Slow it right down. Slowness of breath, the antidote to the way in which we perhaps breathe in everyday life. The eyelids become heavy. There's no rush in the shape. We can simply be. The body freeing energy, space. Mind slowing, pausing, being given time to process, to shift. This antidote to needing to be anywhere or do anything. Sensations will bubble, they rise to the surface. Let them dissipate above the surface so that you can enter the depths of the calm water within you.
you notice when you slow down, when you soften, when you allow yourself to be in stillness in your body. What happens with mind, with the breath? You have one last opportunity to soften your face, your jaw. Slow down your breath. And then you'll take one final slow breath here. And you'll bring your feet onto the mat. You can either take your bolster to the side or under your knees. Let your hips land, coming into your rebound. Letting whatever needs to rise, letting it fall, letting it soften. Take one last moment here and then start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. And we have one final, our third posture. Last shape. This time child's pose. So after opening up those spaces that can get a little tight, we're going to turn inwards. Now for this child's pose, I'm going to recommend again a bolster underneath your body, which can provide a little extra support here. Now you can also add a block under one end or under your sit bones as well. And for this shape, we want to get a sense of turning inwards. So you can do this without any support underneath your body, and you might find that you're able to drop your head a little further in. But you might like the support for your knees and your ankles. You can also roll up a blanket and sit on it as well to keep some space. But you're going to close your eyes. Knees can be a little wider than the belly if you're not resting your belly onto your thighs. Your arms should be in a place where they're soft, they're not pressing into the earth at all. We want to feel this sense of softening, melting, turning inwards, this deeper inwards turn. this last shape where we release, let go. When there's nothing to do, we're drinking in the antidote to living, which is being. Its softness, its slowness, its emptiness. One last time, the world, our to-do lists, our jobs, our families, everything. We take it off, like we take off a coat. Let it melt to the sides of your mat. Let it stay there, trusting that you can be as you are for this brief moment in time. You have less than 2 minutes left. And softness, feeling empty, that melting sensation, the mind slowing, and the tension from the world dissipating for this brief time, this recharge, this antidote. take one last moment here. One final breath. And we have one last rebound. Taking your body off your props. Coming down either onto your belly or if you prefer your back. Stretching your body out, letting in release. And your eyes closed. The sensations shifting, changing, rising and falling. Slowness, steadiness in the breath. You sink down effortlessly into the earth as the sensations move, as your energy moves, as you renew this antidote to living, it's resting, it's being. And you allow yourself to be in this shape, with these sensations in this moment. And you might choose to stay here for a length of time until the sensations no longer exist anymore. A full integration Shavasana. Or you might begin to wriggle your fingers, your toes. A slow entry back into your body. Maybe you hug your knees. And still with slowness, with little movement, small, tiny action. And then you'll rock to one side. And keeping your eyes closed for just a moment longer, you'll come to a seated position. And you'll finish this practice, hands together in front of the heart, head bowed, honoring this time that you've given yourself to release your outer edges, to find slowness and softness, to simply be. And thank you for joining me for this practice, for giving yourself the antidote to living in life. May you always be at peace. May you always be happy. And may you always have love in your heart. And thank you.